Hi, welcome to another training on how to actually reduce your churn rate by half in the next 72 hours. You're losing almost 60% of your B2B users just because your onboarding is actually failing you. Your time to value is actually failing you. If you can't keep your users for the first 3 days, the first 72 hours, then they will definitely churn. What if I can tell you that you can actually reduce your churn rates into half by just speeding up your time to value in the next 72 hours? So follow me in this training and I'll be showing you exactly how you can actually reduce your churn rate and also speed up your time to value and also fix your onboarding issue and also solve your retention issue. So I'll be reading from what I've written down here from my tab, and we'll get to understand better on how you can actually reduce your churn rate. Time to value is something that you can never joke with. As a business owner, as a founder, you must figure out how to actually reduce your time to value for your startup. Time to value simply means the time it takes for your user to actually get to their first aha moment. It shouldn't take more than 72 hours, especially for B2B founders. For B2C, it can actually be faster. We've seen the likes of ChatGPT, where a user can simply go to chatgpt.com and quickly assess value by typing what they want to search for or the research they want to make. The same with Google, the same with other platforms. So we're going to be looking at exactly how you can improve your time to value even as a B2B founder. The time to value audit is not an optimization tactic, it is a pathology report. It is the brutal, unvarnished measurement of how long it takes for a stranger to feel the dopamine hit of your product, solving their pain. Most B2B AI startups have a TTV of 2 weeks. They require setup, integration, data import, and a customer success call scheduled for next Tuesday. If you see a lot of B2B, the stage it gets for a user to actually access the platform or to access their first aha moment actually takes a long time. You see them telling the user to actually book a demo, to actually talk to someone before they can actually even sign up to actually access the product itself. And this is a problem. This is actually suicide. Attention is a decaying asset. It has a half-life of minutes, not days. If you ignore this, you fail. You will burn your cash on ads to fill a bucket that has no bottom. That's a leaking bucket. You will hire sales rep to close leads that went cold 3 days ago. You will eventually look at your bank account and wonder why, with so many sign-ups, you're still starving. So a lot of you get sign-ups for your B2B SaaS, for your startup, and yet you don't get them to actually stay to actually use the product. And the problem is that once they sign up and they don't get to the aha moment in the next 2 days, 3 days, then they will definitely dump your product. You're starving because you're serving dinner after the guest has already left the restaurant. You need to serve the meal now. So how can you serve this meal now? You need to actually check why your time to value is actually taking longer and cut all the process to give them quick access to the value they're seeking for. We are not waiting for, like, the attention span of a lot of people is actually dwindling, and you need to find a way to actually keep their attention and keep them interested in your product to the point that they will actually see the value in staying. And you have to make sure that the time to value is actually very, very short and minimal. So I'm going to be sharing 10 reasons why exactly you need to actually fix this time to value and how you can actually do it. And I'll be sharing examples where we'll be looking at different startups that actually solved their time to value, or they are actually succeeding at this time to value. So the first one I'll be explaining here is the biology of attention. The biology of attention. The human brain is lazy. It is designed to filter out noise to conserve energy for survival. When a user signs up for your product, they are not excited. They are skeptical. They are looking for a reason to ignore you, to categorize you as later, which is a code for never. You have a biological window of 72 hours before the synaptic connection fades. If you make them work for the value, you lose. If you make them watch a tutorial, you lose. You must inject the value directly into their veins before their immune system rejects you. When a user comes to your product, what do they see? Are you taking them through 10 steps where they have to go through probably 10 onboarding process before they actually assess the problem or the solution they're actually seeking for? You need to find a way to actually help them to get to that value faster. because it's biology. This attention span of these people is actually short, and you are not helping them by actually elongating the process. You need to find a way to ensure that immediately they come on board, immediately they access your website, your landing page, they are able to get the value that they are seeking. So let's look at the second one. The second one is the superhuman intervention. We're going to be citing an example of a founder, Raul Vaura of Superhuman. He built an email client in the world dominated by Google, a suicide mission by any standard definition of business logic. But he knew that if a user just signed up and saw an empty inbox, they would definitely churn. So he did the unthinkable. He forced an onboarding call. He refused to let you use the product until a human walked you through the aha moment, teaching you the shortcuts, forcing you to feel the speed, ensuring that within the first hour, you felt like a god. He did not scale efficiently, he scaled effectively. He artificially compressed time to value to zero. He didn't trust the user to find the magic. He shoved the magic in their face. Do not trust your user to find value, especially in your early days. Force it. This is the founder when he built the solution. He actually had to get on calls with people that are actually interested in the product, and then show them exactly how, step by step, how to actually get to the solution that they are looking for. And then if there is any bottleneck, you will help them to solve it. So in your early days, that's if you're just starting up, you need to ensure that your users actually do not encounter any problem trying to assess the value. And if it even requires you to jump on a call with them, a one-on-one call, then you need to be there to show them. And with the help of AI agents and different tools, you don't need to actually do this, so that you can actually scale effectively. You can actually impute an AI agent that actually demos that with the users, helps them to solve any problem that they encounter while using your product. Let's look at the third one. The empty state is a tomb. Log into your own product right now. Create a new account. What do you see? If you see a blank dashboard waiting for data, you're looking at a tombstone. Welcome to Get Started. Connect your API, invite 3 numbers, and upload a CSV. No, they won't do it. The empty state is where interest goes to die. You must populate the dream immediately. Use dummy data, use templates, show them what the finished palace looks like before you ask them to lay the first brick. Give them the victory before the battle. This is just like the problem that Twitter encountered while at their early stage, where when a user signs up, their feeds become very blank. They don't have access to anything on the platform, and they saw that a lot of users actually churn because of that reason. And they had to fix that by actually getting that users actually follow people before they join the platform. If you sign up as a new user on Twitter, you will see that they ask you to actually follow 10 people, 5 people. The same with Instagram, the same with Facebook. This is because they want your timeline to be relatable, so that you see people that you know, so that you get to actually find the platform interesting, to actually come back to it, and so that you don't churn. You have to do the same for your product by building in templates, dummy data that these people can see and actually use and actually relate to actually build their own. Let's look at the fourth one, the Slack threshold. Stewart Butterfield did not care about sign-ups. He knew that a sign-up was a vanity metric, a ghost number that VC love and operators despise. He obsessed over 2,000 message threshold. He knew through rigorous data autopsy that any team who exchanged 2,000 messages would never churn. That was the aha moment. That was the value. So he engineered the entire onboarding flow to raise the user towards that number, removing every friction point that stood between the sign-up and the 2,000 message. He didn't optimize for accounts created, he optimized for the habits formed. So you need to find your 2,000 messages, find your threshold, then run towards it like your life depends on it. Track value, not sign-ups. I see a lot of founders actually do this. They want sign-ups, and sign-ups is not actually the metric that you should be tracking. You should be tracking what actually gets these people value. For Slack, 2,000 messages actually reflects that, oh, this person is actually getting the value out of this product. Imagine a company like on Slack sending 2,000 messages between each other. That means they're actually interested in the platform and they've stayed in the platform for at least a day, 2 months, a month, whatever time it takes them to send out 2,000 messages. It actually covers every criteria. So you need to define the threshold that your customer actually needs to do or what they need to achieve so that you can confirm that they are actually getting the value out of your product. So what will be the threshold for your own product? That is exactly what you need to know. So don't track sign up, track thresholds. Let's look at the fifth one. So the fifth one, it says feature bloat is friction. Feature bloat is friction. You are proud of your features, you shouldn't be. Every brought-in, every menu item, every configuration option you add to the onboarding flow is an order you are asking a tired, skeptical user to jump over. You think you're giving them power, you're giving them cognitive load. Murder your darlings. Strip the onboarding down to a single sharp spear tip of your core value proposition. If your AI writes email, the first thing they see should be a drafted email waiting for approval. Not a settings menu, not a profile page. Just the value, naked and immediate. That's why I love ChatGPT. Value immediately, even before signing up. They made it so easy that even a dummy can get value in 60 seconds. This is actually straightforward. I'm sure you get this. Let's look at the sixth one. The buyer's remorse gap. There is a terrifying moment right after a B2B purchase. The user puts down the credit card or commits the time and immediately fears actually sets in. Did I make a mistake? Is this going to be another shelfware disaster? This is the remorse gap. The only cure for remorse is results. If you can deliver a quick win within the first 3 minutes, a report generated, a task automated, a painful insight review, you kill the remorse. You replace fear with relief. If you wait 72 hours to show value, the remorse adds into resentment. Resentment churns, relief retains. This is just about buyer's remorse. If you wait for 3 days before you allow your users to actually get value out of your product, then they will feel that buyer's remorse. They will actually hate you, hate your product, and will never come back to your product. Either delete your product from their app, from their device, from their laptop, from the PC, whatever they are using it on, they take it away. So you have to ensure that they actually get the value immediately to avoid buyer's remorse. The seventh one, the Canva template revolution. Melanie Perkins took on Adobe Photoshop. Photoshop is powerful, but it opens with a terrifying blank canvas that demands you to be an artist. Canva opened with a template. You clicked Instagram post and it's already 90% done. She reduced the time to value from hours of learning design theory to seconds of clicking replace. She didn't build a better tool, she built a faster outcome. She understood that people don't want to design, they want to have designed. Stop selling the shovel, give them the hoe. If there's a way to actually help your users to get their value faster, you don't need to stress them. That is what Canva did. Compare Canva to Photoshop. I understand the Photoshop probably is for the pro, the people that are actually into design. But when it comes to Canva actually made the job easy for everyone. They were able to capture different business owners, different people, students, different categories of people to actually be able to use the platform without actually even needing to learn design, because they actually made the time to value very short. Before you can use Adobe Photoshop, you need to learn a lot of things. But Canva, in a day, you can get started on it because of the ready-made template and the easy to get time to value. Trust is earned in milliseconds. In the AI era, trust is at an all-time low. Users assume your AI is going to hallucinate, break, or steal their data. Every second of delay in your app confirms their suspicion. Latency is not just a technical issue, it is a trust issue. Speed is the proxy for competence. If your onboarding feels snappy, decisive, and guided, the user trusts the algorithm. If it spins, buffers, or asks confusing questions, they assume the AI is stupid. They assume the solution is terrible, is bad. You are not just engineering software, you are engineering psychological safety. If your software or your product or your startup is actually very slow or is terrible at onboarding, at giving them the time to value, they actually lose trust. They don't trust you. They assume that you're not competent, your product is actually bad or terrible. I think I've experienced this with ChatGPT, which allowed me to move from it to Claude AI. Probably at the early stage, I don't know. Then the next one, which is the ninth, we have the viral loop dependency. You want viral growth, you want product-led growth, PLG. You cannot have PLG without instant TTV that will lead to an LTV. You cannot have PLG without an instant TTV that will lead to an LTV. For those that don't understand these terms, PLG means product-led growth. You can have product-led growth without instant time to value that will lead to the LTV. That's the long-term value of a customer. I feel like a rapper now. Sorry, I wrote this down here. Why would I invite my colleague to a product that hasn't proved itself to me yet? I won't. I risk my social capital when I recommend a tool. I will only invite my boss or my team after I have had the aha moment. If that moment takes a week, the viral coefficient is 0. If it takes 3 minutes, the viral loop spins faster than you can handle. Shorten the TTV, then you can unlock the viral coefficient, keep it long, and you stay linear. So you need to find a way to reduce your TTV so that people can actually easily recommend your product. Because if your product actually solves the problem, I'm definitely going to recommend that product to people. Ten, retention is born on day one. We obsess over churn as if it is something that happens at the end of the month. Churn happens on day one. The user who cancels on day 30 actually mentally quits on day 1 because you failed to hook them. They just forgot to cancel the trial. You didn't lose them when the credit card failed, you lost them when the dopamine failed. Fixing retention doesn't mean sending "we miss you" emails. It means fixing the first 3 minutes of the user's life. Save them now or lose them forever. So we've looked at 10 reasons, 10 examples, different examples on how to actually reduce your TTV and why you should actually reduce your time to value. Your time to value is actually unique to you, unique to your product, unique to actually what you're offering. So citing an example is just, I'm sure you could pick at least 1 or 2 ways or reasons or how you can actually reduce your time to value. If you need help reducing your time to value, then you should actually book a call to actually talk to me, and we'll go through your software, we'll go through your product, and we'll see how we can actually reduce your time to value. And if you want to watch a training, I've also added a link in the description where you can actually watch that training for free. If you're also interested in more content on how to actually scale the revenue of a startup by retaining users, acquiring users, then you should give me a follow and subscribe to this channel. See you in the next training, and don't forget to share this with someone. Bye.